Let's see here. Ms. Smith, would you please go and read in House Bill 116, Representative McMakin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 116 by Representative McMakin provides relative to the disclosure of personnel records of public employees and provides for the action to enforce disclosure of personnel records.
Representative McMakin, before you get started, Representative Weibel has a personal privilege.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
question.
Mr. Chair. Sorry, Rep McMakin. I'd just like to welcome the House and Governmental Senator Paige Wiley from the great state of Tennessee. He's joining us today.
Welcome, Senator Wiley. Representative McMakin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. Thank you, Senator, for being here. My mother was born in Memphis, Tennessee. Great to have the home state represented today. This is a public records bill. Members, as a lawyer, I do practice in a little bit of areas, and one of those is public records. This is a matter that came before me after I personally sued LSU. And they denied a record. I went to the 19th JDC, lost that case, went to the First Circuit, won the case there, and then came back to the 19th. The intent of this bill is to clear up the language that courts and custodians always seem to rely on cases, and they do not go to the statutes that we write enough for the public records law. This bill today is intended to clear up the differences of those cases, especially the case of McMakin v. Board of Supervisors, the East Bank Consolidated Special Service Fire Protection versus Crosson, Copeland v. Copeland, Hatfield v. Bush, Parish National Bank v. Lane, and Trahan v. Leverrier. Representative Boyer might be able to help me with that one. And Representative Boyer, I do have, working with Ms. Lowry and Ms. Smith, a few amendments, if we could take those up as well.
Let's go ahead and do that. Ms. Smith.
Members, this is Amendment Set 4221. It's available online and has been passed out. There are going to be a few little changes on it, so bear with me as we go through them. Amendments 1, 2, and 3 are all technical. Amendment 4 and 5 work together, but the author has asked that Amendment 5 be struck from this set. And so the effect of Amendment 4 would be on page 1, line 13, starting at line 13, that sentence would be rewritten to say, toward this end, a public employee's reasonable expectation of privacy as it relates to his personnel records, except as provided in this chapter, and the provisions of this chapter shall be construed liberally so as to facilitate rather than hinder access to public records. So again, Amendment number 5 would be deleted. Amendment 6 deletes an exception authorizing release of the home address of school board employees and members of the firefighters' retirement system. Amendments 7 and 8 are technical. And Amendment 9, there's a bit of a change to this one as well. So Amendment 9, if you go to page 2 of the amendment, the new language on that page, instead of what you see on the page, would read, if the custodian determines a personnel record is exempt, the custodian may not refer to a court decision as the basis to exempt the record.
You want to put that in English for us, Representative McMakin?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. So what happened in my case was when I requested the record, the first denial that I got was that the LSU just quoted me a court case. The law, the way that public records laws are supposed to work, is you're supposed to tell the person that has asked for the record, no, I'm denying it because of this part of the statute, 44, whatever that might be. That's the way we do the laws here. In Louisiana, in the Constitution, we talk about, maybe y'all have talked about the Constitution a little bit in this committee over the last few weeks. It is a public records state. And I think actually, Mr. Chairman, in y'all's bill, House Bill 800, that part of the Constitution is staying put per what we passed already. So we are a public records state, and what we're trying to say is it's supposed to be a very black and white determination, that if it's in there, it's allowed. If it's not, then it's not. And so that's what we're trying to do here with these amendments, is clean that up. And if you notice, I just want to say the House bill is 116. I filed this very early on and have been talking to a lot of people as we've been going through this process to try to clear up any of those concerns, and that's what I'm trying to do with this amendment set.
Any questions on the amendment set? I'm going to go and offer up that amendment set. We don't have a number for. Oh, you got a question, Representative Gadberry?
I don't have a copy of the amendment, but listening to it, it says shall not use the court records?
The court case.
Court case?
Yes, sir.
So it's not an option?
You
this
shall not
passes.
use that alone. So what they should have
Oh.
done is they should have said, we're going to deny your record per 44, blah, blah. Please see East Bank. Please see McMakin. What LSU has actually been doing lately is denying records and saying, your record is denied. Go look at McMakin v. LSU. That's not how it should work. It should say your record is denied because the legislature has specifically put an exemption or denial in the law, not just the court.
So it could be used in conjunction with.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Just
thank
not
you.
alone.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Newell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Rep McMakin. I think you may have answered my question. So when you put in a public records request, did you make the request and for this document, or did your attorney for the matter make the request for this
Me
document?
as the attorney.
It was you as the attorney. Were you representing yourself, or did you have a client?
I was representing myself.
So that causes confusion. I could see that being the issue from LSU's side.
What do you think the issue was with that? Had any other person done that request, in my opinion, they would have denied it the same exact way, and we would have this same problem.
But it was a pending court case.
No, ma'am, no pending court case.
It wasn't-
I had to sue. I had to sue them to
So
try to
your
get the record.
Okay, so your request was not, there was no court case going on at the time of your request.
Correct.
But you then followed up and sued on behalf of yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That was where I was concerned,
Mm-hmm.
because I thought it was you as an attorney on record making this request, but it was you as a citizen making a request and was denied, and then the case. Thank you.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
And yes, the denial should not be based on a court case. It should be based on statute. Thank you very much for clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Newell. Representative Larverdane.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm looking at Dixon Wallace McMakin versus Board. You lost on the district level, and you got they provided writs on the Court of Appeals, and then you were denied. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So it didn't go to the Supreme Court.
No, sir.
And what was the denial based on? Why did ruled against you?
It was the judge in that case. He denied it because he thought it was not just a clerical matter that he had to provide for, which I wholeheartedly disagree. And there was some grayness to the law and to the language. And now what I'm trying to do is take that grayness out,
clear it
because
up.
it should be the intent of these laws, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinions, is it should be very black and white. When you have these gray matters in there, the legislature then comes back and tries to put it into black and white.
And so that's what you're trying to do.
Yes, sir.
Is you have any kickback from anybody?
We've had some discussion. There's some people here that have some white cards maybe. I don't believe there's any red cards in opposition today. A lot of it has been in the amendment that we just, or actually that we're on, I believe we're on the amendment set right now. Amendment number 4 on line 13 of the bill did cause some people some trouble with that language, so that's why we struck that language out. That I was really going for at the beginning, Rep Larverdane, and they came down a little bit off of that.
Well, no, I know you're passionate. I work closely with you. So, okay. So thank you here. We're going to work. We're going to
Thank
see.
you.
Thank you, Representative Larverdane. Representative Weibel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rep McMakin, I'm just trying to understand amendment number 6. So by striking that out, are we saying that now the home address of school employees essentially is public record? Like, I'm not an attorney like you are.
So amendment set number 6 keeps us in line with 2 other bills that I believe y'all have already passed. Both were Mike Johnson's bills, or just one Mike Johnson bill that's already come to this committee. So I was keeping in line with what's already been done by Mike Johnson on those. And just a little historical on those, talking to the people about where that language comes from. And there's also a firefighter language that y'all have stricken as well already. Those were previously when those groups or organizations could not get records without having to go through that process. But now they do have the records, and so they no longer are in need of that information to be in the law.
Okay. So tell me in plain English, with this amendment, I'll use my wife as an example since, anyway, her home address of whatever 100 Main Street would then be public record?
No, sir. You're going to still be protected under RS 4411. Currently, it's listed as Section A3, confidential nature of certain personnel records exemptions, the home address of a public employee.
So striking this protects that information.
It does. It is already. It stays protected. Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm like Rep Newell. I'm still confused. You went to law school?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go to law school?
The LSU.
Oh, you must be a fantastic attorney. Then.
According to the 19 JDC, I'm
I
not.
think he was confused. Well, I'm not going to go there. All right.
Does that help your concern, Rep Weibel? Yes. Okay.
All right. The board is clear. What's the pleasure of the committee? Representative Weibel has made a motion. Yep, with that we report House Bill 116 as amended. Is there any objection? Oh, we still on the amendment? I'm sorry. I'm going to offer up that amendment. Anybody have an objection to the adoption of that amendment? Seeing no objection, that amendment's adopted. Back on the bill. Any questions on the bill?
There's still amendments. There's still amendments.
So this is, yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think Representative Thomas has something she'd like to add.
Gotcha.
Maybe
Okay.
Ms. Smith might be helping her add this.
Representative Thomas on an amendment?
Ms. Smith.
Or Ms. Smith on the amendment for Ms. Thomas?
Hot potato. All right, so this amendment would, on page 2, between lines 13 and 14, so this provision creates a list of items in the personnel records of a public employee that shall be confidential. Adding to this list a number 5, opinions contained in evaluation reports.
All right. Any objection to the adoption of this amendment? Seeing none, this amendment is adopted. Back on the bill.
There's another amendment. Is it
Okay, just, all right, give me a second. There are no other amendments.
We're not taking that.
Do we have any other amendments?
Yep.
Any other amendments? Okay, everybody's good on amendments here? All right, back on the bill. Is there any questions on the bill now that it's amended? All right, Representative Weibel has made a motion that we report House Bill 116 favorable as amended. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, House Bill 116 will be reported favorably as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Thank you.